You fancy learning a logical calculation thought process? The 0, 1, 2, 3 method? Of course you do. It's based around the old checks, captures and threats, but with a twist. 0, 0. What if you passed to move over? But looking at the position, 0 first. What would happen if we were white and we passed that move over? This is so that we can get into a really good habit of looking out for opponents' threats. So if it was white to play, I would think, what would happen now if white did nothing and passed that move over? Was black got any threats in the position? Number one, looking at all the checks, even if they look ridiculous, brute force calculation, look at every single check, count all the checks. 3 checks. Number 2, look at all the captures in the position. There are 6 captures. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 threats in the position. Well, you could argue there are a couple of threats, but the main thing, 0, we're safe to make a move. So they go to number 1, which is look at the checks in the position. All of those checks don't do anything. The knight check just drops the knight for no reason. This also drops the knight for no reason. So those 2 can be quickly dismissed. And the other check, that doesn't really do anything either. So we can eliminate all the checks. So we can go to stage 2, which is the captures. So we can look at rook takes. It's not going to work. So this pawn takes at least, for example. And the other same with the other one. Pawn takes. Both rook takes don't really work. So knight takes doesn't work. We just lose. What about knight takes here? Threats in the position. I'm not really buying any threats at all. This is not a threat. This knight meandering. It's not a threat either because the rook can just take. So we've looked at all the checks, the captures and the threats. But it has to be one of those. It has to be. It's not going to be a quiet move. It's not going to be like a strategic position because we know it's a calculation exercise or a tactics exercise. So have a look at that if you want to pause. If not, I'm going to show you the solution. So looking at the all other checks, we've dismissed the checks. It has to be the captures, and it's this one, knight takes. Knight takes d6, really nice move. If rook takes, for example, then white has got this amazing threat. Knight f7 with checkmate coming, next move. Here's a position from the crazy hard calculation section, and this is crazy hard. It lives up to its name. Same thing, 0. It's white to play, but we hand the move back over to black. Has black got any threats in the position? Black's not got any immediate threats, so we're safe to go to number 1, which is the checks. Checks in the position. We can check on f6. We could take the pawn. I always count the captures if it's a check and a capture as a check. So 2 checks, and then we have got knight moving, 2 checks. So 4 checks and captures. We counting that as a check, so no there. 2 captures on the pawn. So we're looking at 4 checks, 2 captures, and then any threats. So the 2 checks from the queen can be quickly dismissed. We don't want to be throwing the queen away on f6 or on f7. So we can look at the other 2 checks, the knight checks. So knight e6 check, that will force a capture because obviously we're hitting the king and the queen. But bishop can just take that, or pawn can just take that. So that we can dismiss that one pretty quickly as well. So what about knight f5 check? Back to this video shortly, but if you've not seen my secret Soviet chess method, I go undercover in 1957 to discover the secret Soviet chess. Watch this one after. Back to the video. Again, queen can just take that, or pawn. So it's not a check again in this position, not those 4 checks. So we move on to the captures. These don't look likely to me on immediate look. So knight takes with the b pawn, rook takes the b pawn. We're just losing a piece. There's no value there, so it's a threat. What threats exist in the position? e6 is a threat. Maybe moving the rook to c7. e6 just looks like it needs to be played. e6 is the move. Black has got to do something with that threat. It's got to respond. And the queen's hanging because of the rook. So again, we follow the process. Queen takes. Now what? And we can check on f7. Let's have a look what happens if we check on f7. So we're looking at the checks again. We're going back to the process of the checks, captures, and threats. Looks good here, but not enough. This is a hard line to calculate, but we have to calculate. It's called crazy hard calculation for a reason. We could take this, but then this is not going to work because black has got taken with check. And yeah, this is not going to work. So it's going to be perpetual. Queen, f7 check in there. What else have we got? Again, just following the process, going over all the checks, captures, and threats. And we can find moves like this. It just looks ludicrous. Right, another psych, because of this. And the pawn queen. Karpov pulls off a stunner in this position. You're not going to want to miss this one. Same process, 0. It's white to play, but if it was black to play, what would black do? Getting into that mindset, I think, is really useful. Number 1, checks. Number 2, captures. Number 3, threats. Obviously, the checks, captures, and threats, that's not my invention. Obviously not. Dan Heisman popularised it. Did he invent it? I don't know. Let me know if you do know. I would love to know whether this was invented by Dan or if he just popularised it in his early columns. I have contacted him, but I only sent a message yesterday. All I've done here is stick that 0 at the front because I think that's really useful to get that mindset habit going at an early stage, even when we're practicing tactical exercises. So the Karpov stunner, this is an amazing move. You think of Karpov with small, quiet pawn moves and backwards knight manoeuvres, but he could certainly play tactically as well. Knight f6, threat. Checks, captures, threats, threat. King takes. Bishop check. King takes. Queen takes, check. King takes. Rook e1. Move away, take up the rook. And another bishop, for example, like this. And the old maestro is up the exchange. And from the 0, 1, 2, 3 method to the secret Soviet chess method, I go undercover in 1957 with a fake moustache to find out how the Soviets dominated world chess.